My new paper computer game is called Granny. So before we get into the game, let's just give you some backstory for Granny. 100 trillion years from now, the stuff that makes new stars will run out. No new stars will be born. The remaining stars that will then run out of fuel and die eventually. This is true, by the way. This is like actual science stuff. 10 quintillion years after that, most of the dark, dead stars left in the galaxy will fall into the supermassive black hole at the center. Life will be able to survive off the incredible energy of this black hole for about a trillion years. This is also fairly accurate, by the way. But eventually, even black holes evaporate away when they run out of fuel. A slow leak of energy. In enough time, it adds up, and the hole will be gone. Nothing will be left. Except Granny. The last life in a cold and dead universe, she lives a cozy life. So she's living inside of this little asteroid, one of the last pieces of matter floating around in a cold and dead universe. There are no stars, there are no planets, there's nothing else. As far as the eye can see, as far as even a spaceship could travel, there is just unending nothingness. But inside the asteroid, here's Granny. So this is you. You play as Granny. You've got your nice little comfortable living space. You've been living this way for, untold trillions upon trillions of years. She's got her rocking chair over there, bookshelf full of books. She's got little, trinkets and knickknacks and, this weird winged figure, up there. Stuff like that. Now, there's like a candy bar on the ground. So this is what makes her food. I call it food. It's not like food as we would understand it, but, she has to take in energy somehow. This on the wall, that's kind of like her equivalent of a bathroom. It's like, what eats her waste, basically. Although it's not, waste as you and I would understand it, but, same basic idea. Everything inside this has to be recycled because she has no new source of energy. There's no stars, there's no electricity coming from anywhere, there's no energy to charge up her systems. So everything, every little speck of, energy, every spark of everything has to be recycled for her living space to continue being livable and for her to continue existing. And so she just has, her nice little living area. She lives comfortably, she relaxes. It's kind of cozy. But, something has happened. One of her books has been lost into space. Now, how is that possible? She's like inside a solid asteroid, walls all around. There is no, door or escape hatch because, there's nothing out there. Why would you ever need to leave? But it turns out that very rarely in quantum mechanics, and this is, super, super rare. So in real life, you're never going to actually encounter this. But it turns out that in quantum mechanics, it is possible for an object to hit a solid wall and disappear and pass through it to the other side. Now that's very, very, very unlikely. It's unlikely for that to happen. It's so unlikely that it would take many times the history of the universe. That's how long you would have to wait to see this actually happen in real life. But Granny has been sitting here for many times more than the history of the universe. So it has now happened. Her book, against the shelf, has popped through the wall. It is now floating out in space. And this is bad, Now, you might think, it's just a book, If you lose a book, so what? Just go to the bookstore, get another. There's no bookstores, right? There are no more books. The only books in existence in the universe are here in this asteroid. And the loss of one of them means that Granny is going to have to live the next trillions of years with less entertainment for herself. Every little scrap of information, of entertainment, of interest is crucial, literally crucial to her survival. And so, this book cannot be abandoned. She has to get it back. But the question is how? How can Granny get it back? Now that is going to be challenging for, you're the player, you're playing as Granny. You have to figure out, using the resources at your disposal, how you are going to get this book back. Now, the thing about that is, Granny is she is a very, very powerful being. She has a lot of energy and power, but here's the thing. Energy is scarce. If she uses energy to reach the outside, like, she literally could just teleport out there right this very second, and grab the book. Not a problem. The thing is, if she does that, she uses some of her energy reservoir. If she uses her energy reservoir, that energy is gone forever. There are no stars. There is nothing. There's no charging station. She cannot charge up. Anything that is lost forever. And if this happens again, say 10 billion years in the future, that will be lost forever. So, can you find a way to get back this book without using any energy in a way that it'll be lost forever? Anything you use inside this place can be recycled. It'll be captured by the energy capturing machines that are like built into the walls or whatever. So anything you use inside will be recycled. But if you go outside, that is just going to be lost forever. So yeah, that is kind of the challenge. Now, there are many different ways to do this. There are different ways to use the machines at your disposal. You kind of have to experiment with what you can use, with, what you can do, and figure out what her powers are. So, by the way, what actually is Granny, She sort of has like a human-like figure, but then she's got like the weird spider legs. That's kind of interesting, right? That is kind of weird. Is she actually a descendant of humanity in some way? Is she some alien creature? The thing is, this is so far in the future that distinctions like that just really don't matter anymore. It's kind of like arguing over which tribe of cavemen you're descended from 50,000 years ago. It just has no relevance to our life today. And so in the same way, asking Granny, which planet she came from, or even whether she's a robot or a biological entity or what, is meaningless. She might not even remember, legitimately. That is so far in the past, it just has no bearing on her life today. Granny just is what she is. She's a very powerful being, and she's living a cozy existence. Now, I was tempted to put little, cameos among her tchotchkes, like maybe put a Ginkis or whatever. That would be the obvious thing to do. But see, the thing is that wouldn't make sense with this story, because, this is so far in the future that, Ginkis, Zuvak, all those characters, they are so long in the past. They've been forgotten. They just don't matter anymore. I hate to say, but it's would you have a statue on your shelf of a specific caveman dude from 50,000 years ago, right? From the beginning of humanity. Probably you've never even heard of a single individual caveman, and that is only 50,000 years ago. To Granny, this is over 100 quintillion years. I don't think you understand how long of a time that is. So many great historical figures since Zuvak and Ginkis and all that, or whoever they were, have risen and fallen. That's just one minuscule detail forgotten to history. And here's the thing. I can't even confirm if this even takes place in the PCG universe. I'm not even deciding that. It might not. It might take place in some other universe within the multiverse. The thing is, it really just doesn't even matter which universe this takes place in. You could tell me that this takes place in the future of, say, the Techno-Zombies universe, because that would not make one tiny bit of a difference to the story. This is so far in the future that, it doesn't matter if Earth was overrun by zombies, a quintillion years ago before this. that wouldn't change things at all. Like, that is how far into the future this is. So yeah, that's my new paper computer game, Granny. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this. Let me know how you would try and solve it. I don't know. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and peace to you later.